You see the private jets, the Rolex, the ocean view penthouse with the infinity pool. You scroll past another success story on Instagram, and a part of you wonders, how did they get there? But here's what nobody's posting. The sleepless nights, the uncertainty, the risk so high it made their stomach drop. Everyone loves to glorify the success, but almost no one shows you what it really takes to get there. What it cost them, what they lost, what nearly broke them. Welcome to the side of success you don't see, where your mental health goes to war with your ambition, where you're working while your friends are out, where failure isn't a theory, it's something you've tasted again and again. This isn't a video about flexing. This is the reality check beneath the highlight reel, the truth behind the luxury, the hustle you don't see. Because for every supercar someone flashes online, there's a story of grit, sacrifice, and pressure that doesn't make the grid. This is that story. And if you're chasing your version of success, you need to know what you're actually signing up for. Because luxury is loud, but the hustle behind it, that's as quiet as 4 a.m. Let's go behind the glamour and step inside the grind. We live in an era where success has a highlight reel. Swipe through your feed and it looks like everyone is living the dream. Smiling in front of Lamborghini doors, private jets with champagne in hand, work from anywhere lifestyles in Bali and Santorini. Everyone's a boss. Everyone's building an empire. No stress, no mess, just travel, watches, and wealth. But how real is it? Because the camera shows the mansion, but it doesn't show the mortgage. It shows the Rolex, but not the 90-hour weeks that paid for it. It shows the money, never the mistakes. The story's told in snapshots, but what it doesn't show is where the real story lives. See, what most people don't realize is this. The luxury is the byproduct, not the process. That moment with the supercar, it's a second in time, captured after years of grinding. That vacation, booked after hundreds of nights not sleeping. That million-dollar launch on a Zoom call came after a dozen ones that tanked in silence and self-doubt. The path isn't all palm trees and passive income. It's pressure, it's blood in the water, it's silent battles that don't get likes. But people don't post the hustle, they post the reward. And that's okay, but let's not confuse visibility with ease. Luxury didn't choose them. They chose discomfort, discipline, and delayed gratification over and over again. The highlight reel is designed to inspire, and that's powerful. But if you're comparing yourself to it without seeing what came before it, you start believing a lie. You think you're behind because you don't have the Bugatti yet. You think you failed because your first product didn't go viral. You wonder if you're good enough because your journey doesn't look like their destination. But here's the truth. That 10-second clip you just tapped on, it probably took 10 years to earn. Don't let the flash fool you. Behind every luxury reel is an unseen grind, quiet mornings, lonely choices, and hard conversations that never get posted. So yeah, success looks good, but you can't copy the results if you skip the sacrifices. That yacht on your feed, you didn't see the waves they battled to afford it. And now, we're going beyond the visuals, into the part of the story that doesn't fit the feed. Welcome to the hustle you don't see. Relentless work ethic. Let's start with the thing that success is built on, but rarely shown. Relentless, obsessive work ethic. Success isn't a result of just working hard sometimes. It's doing what needs to be done when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, boring, or risky every single day. While other people are sleeping, scrolling endlessly, or hitting snooze, the ones behind the luxury are running systems, solving problems, closing deals, learning skills, and putting in reps when no one claps yet. The CEO you follow? She's likely up at 4 a.m., in meetings by 6, and reviewing performance metrics late at night. That lucky influencer with the 100K brand deal probably posted content every day for 3 years before anything took off. What looks like overnight success? That's 10,000 hours of invisible labor you didn't witness. Relentless doesn't mean burnout, it means consistency with intention. It's the discipline to do the same unglamorous things, building, launching, tweaking, not just when you feel like it, but especially when you don't. In public, people say, "You're so lucky." In private, you know, "I earned every inch of this." And if you're not willing to outwork your excuses, someone with half your talent but double your consistency will beat you to the life you want. That's the hidden hustle. The never-ending internal demand for more, not from other people, but from yourself. Financial risk and setbacks. Let's talk about the part of luxury nobody brags about, the risk behind the reward. Everyone loves to post about profits, but rarely do people talk about what they risked to get there. You don't see the $50,000 they lost on a failed product launch. You don't see the 4 businesses that flopped before the one that took off. You don't hear the quiet panic at night when the bank account hit 0, but the bills didn't stop. The truth is, luxury often rides on the back of people who were willing to bet on themselves at extreme levels. While others were playing it safe, they were investing in courses, paying for mentorship, buying inventory, renting offices before revenue, leaping before they knew they could fly. And sometimes they crashed. But here's what separates them. They didn't stop. They didn't let one failed investment become their identity. The setback wasn't the end. It was the tuition they paid for long-term success. People say, "Don't take risks." But here's the catch. Safety doesn't build anything significant. You have to be brave with your wallet, brave with your decisions, and brave enough to lose and still keep showing up. Because guess what? Most of the millionaires and billionaires didn't make their wealth from their first try. They just didn't quit after their 15th. So the next time you see someone driving exotic cars or buying designer clothes, don't just assume they're lucky. Remember, you're looking at someone who may have once risked everything, stared failure in the face, and said, "I'm not done yet." That's the unseen price tag behind financial freedom. Burnout and pressure. Now let's talk about the emotional cost of the hustle, the pressure that silently comes with building something massive. Because here's what doesn't make the highlight reel: the mental weight of being the one who holds it all together. Behind the luxury life is anxiety, constantly thinking 10 steps ahead. It's waking up in the middle of the night wondering if the marketing worked. It's carrying employees' paychecks, client expectations, investor pressure, all on your shoulders. It's decision fatigue. It's emotional fatigue. It's quiet chaos. Some days you feel like you're winning. Others you spiral in internal doubt, wondering, "Can I keep this going?" And the hard truth is, most people crack. The pressure to succeed publicly while struggling privately is overwhelming. Especially in a world obsessed with appearances, founders and creators are often forced to pretend they're okay when they're not. Here's what most won't tell you. Burnout doesn't always look like hospital beds and breakdowns. Sometimes burnout looks like scrolling mindlessly trying to numb the fear. It looks like snapping at loved ones because you're overwhelmed. It looks like knowing you're living your dream, but barely surviving the pressure it came with. But here's the other side of it. The ones who make it aren't superhuman. They've just learned how to survive the pressure, process their emotions, and rebuild themselves mid-battle. They rest strategically. They get support. They protect their peace, because now they understand mental energy is wealth. So if you're on this path, know this: pressure doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're growing.
Legends aren't built in comfort. They're forged under intense internal storms the world will never see. That's the hustle you don't see, but feel every day. Sacrifices, family, freedom, time. Every success story has a spotlight moment, but behind that spotlight are the sacrifices no one sees. You've heard the term work-life balance, right? Now ask anyone who's built something real, a business, a brand, a legacy, and they'll tell you that balance didn't come early. In fact, sometimes it didn't come at all. You see the flashy launch party, but you didn't see the friendships that faded because you're always working. You see the luxurious vacation, but not the missed birthdays, anniversaries, or time with your kids while you were buried in deadlines. You admire the success, but you don't hear about the maybe later conversations with spouses who felt neglected, or parents who just wanted a call back. Why? Because when you're building something from the ground up, time isn't yours anymore. You owe it to your goals. You owe it to the risk you're taking, and you owe it to the version of you who said, "I'm all in." And while others clock out at 5, you're still grinding at midnight. Not because you want to, but because you have to. Because passion doesn't operate on business hours. But before you glamorize the grind, understand this. Every yes to your hustle is a no to something else. That's the trade-off. Some people lose their marriages. Others grow distant from their kids. Some end up rich but resentful, successful but emotionally bankrupt. But here's the truth. Those sacrifices are a chapter, not the full book. The smart ones find their way back, stronger, more balanced, but only after the storm. Success demands sacrifice, but sustainability demands self-awareness. The loneliness of the climb. Everyone wants to be at the top until they get there and realize how few people can handle the altitude. It's lonely at the top. That's not just a cliche, it's a psychological reality for high performers. The higher you climb, the fewer people truly understand your decisions, your ambition, or the weight you're carrying. You find yourself in rooms you used to dream about, but now you're surrounded by people who barely know your story or care if you burn out. You start guarding your thoughts because not everyone can handle your realness anymore. Say too much and you sound arrogant. Say too little and you're seen as cold or distant. You stop asking for advice because no one around you's been where you're going. Your circle gets smaller, and sometimes you start questioning if it's worth it. People think luxury is lonely because you're above others. The truth is, it's lonely because you're living a life only few are willing and able to understand. You'll lose friends, not because they don't love you, but because your pace becomes intimidating. You'll lose alignment with people who were meant for the old version of you. You'll wake up one day realizing that your biggest wins might only be celebrated by you. But if you're lucky, you realize something else. Loneliness is temporary. Legacy is forever. This part of the hustle is where most people retreat, but successful people, they use the isolation as incubation to grow, to plan, to rebuild. The climb may get quiet, but when you reach that peak, your view will speak for you. So yeah, success gets lonely, but sometimes being misunderstood is the price of becoming unforgettable. So now you've seen it, the filtered lifestyle, unfiltered. The cars, the freedom, the millions, it's not all a lie. But it comes with a cost most people aren't willing to pay, because behind every winning season was a chapter of sacrifices in silence, doubt behind closed doors, and unseen hours where quitting felt easier than continuing. And here's the thing no guru tells you. Success is less about talent and strategies and more about emotional tolerance.
Can you tolerate moving in silence while others question your path? Can you tolerate risking the comfort of today for the dream of tomorrow? Can you tolerate building when it's not working and everyone says, just get a job? That's when the real test kicks in. Not when you're winning, but when nothing's working and you're still showing up. That's the hustle you don't see, and that's why so few become legends. Because most people want the result, but not the repetition. They want the spotlight, but not the seasons in the shadows. So if you've ever looked at someone living freely and thought, why not me? Ask yourself this instead. Am I really willing to trade what they traded? Because if the answer is yes, let this be your wake-up call. Don't envy the luxury. Study the sacrifice. Don't copy the image. Commit to the actions. The truth is, you don't need more motivation. You need more commitment. The kind that's quiet, private, unshiny, day after day after day. That's the DNA of a builder. That's the blueprint. Let me be real with you. Not everyone's built for this life. But if you've made it this far in the video, maybe, just maybe, you are. And the best news? This version of you, the hungry, focused one, watching this right now, doesn't need permission from anyone. You don't have to prove your hustle. You just have to move in it consistently enough that one day, luxury doesn't feel like a dream. It feels like a reflection of who you became. So, now you've seen it, the full picture. Not just the jets, the suits, the views, but the tears, the time, the trade-offs behind every frame. And here's the truth you need to carry with you. Luxury is not achievement. It's just the evidence of years walked in the dark, discipline when nobody applauded, decisions that felt insane until they looked genius, late nights, failed launches, self-doubt, and still waking up and showing up. That's what's behind the luxury. So if you're sitting there thinking, damn, I've been comparing my day 1 to someone else's year 10, remember this, you're not behind, you're just early. Success is not fake because it's flashy. It's real because it was fought for, quietly, over time. And if you're building a brand, a business, a dream, here's what I need you to take seriously. Are you chasing the image or building the character behind it? Because the flex isn't just in the things, it's in who you become on your way to earning them. The car lights are cool, but the mental clarity, the financial confidence, that's the real flex. So don't just admire the highlight reel, dig underneath it. Feel the hustle, study the grind, and then outwork it. Because one day, they'll look at your life and say, you're so lucky, but you'll know better. You'll know you were built in the early mornings, built during heartbreak, built during nothing is working seasons, built through effort, not filters. Here's what to do next. Step 1, drop a comment below. What hit you the hardest from this video? What part of the hustle you don't see do you relate to most? Step 2, hit that like button if this shook you, challenged you, made you feel called out, or maybe a little more committed. Step 3, subscribe because I'm dropping more real content like this. Deep dives into mindset, money, motivation, and everything they're not telling you on social media. Step 4, share this video with that one friend who says they want success but needs to hear what it actually costs to get there. This is your moment to shift, not to dream harder, but to build smarter, to hustle with clarity, to rise without the fluff, to love the grind just as much as the gold. Because the luxury, that's just the visible part, but the hustle, that's who you are when no one's watching. Let them see the shine later. Right now, it's time to work.